using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. Like
Floyd, yeah, because
Floyd Mayweather asked Terence Crawford to fight him in 2026, and Crawford finally replied in a good way, saying that he is ready to settle the debate over who is the better boxer. Even though Mayweather is almost 10 years older than Crawford, he called the fight because he was angry that boxing fans were comparing him to Crawford.
he played the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you want?
In an interview after his win, Crawford was asked about boxing fans' desire for him to fight Floyd. Since Floyd also wants to fight, Floyd can fight me for a lot of money and the chance to fight one of the best. Okay, I'm in.
I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
Because boxing fans wanted him to, and because two of his former opponents said Crawford was better than him. Mayweather had to call Crawford out. This seems like a huge insult to Crawford's achievements. Shane Mosley, who lost to Mayweather on points 15 years ago, agreed with Canelo that this was true.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
In a shocking interview with Fight Hub TV, Mosley said that he thinks Bud Crawford is better than Mayweather. He did say that his old opponent is very talented, though. Crawford seems to be getting bigger, better, and going up in weight class. Because of this, I think Crawford is a better boxer all around. However, Mayweather is also very good. He's not as easy to hit. He has a lot of skills. Even though it would have been close, I think Crawford would have won because he is bigger and has longer arms than Mayweather.
Who you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Fans and experts all over the world are already arguing about whether Bud is now the best boxer of all time. After beating Canelo, the 37-year-old returned to the top of the pound-for-pound chart with a big win. On the other hand, Canelo had said what he thought before the fight, and after he lost, he said it again, saying that Crawford was better than him. At his news conference after the fight, Canelo Alvarez made waves when he said that Terence Crawford is a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather. I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather, Canelo said at the press conference after the fight.
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
It's important to note that this comment came from someone who has lost to both Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. Canelo's decision to make such a bold claim so soon after losing shows either great humility or a genuine belief in Crawford's unquestionable dominance. People in the boxing community quickly spoke out against what the Mexican superstar said. Some fans said that Crawford wanted to move up several weight classes and fight tough opponents, while others said that Mayweather had a perfect record and strong qualifications. The boxer Terence Crawford said that Alvarez has fought with him and Mayweather. Based on what he knew, he said Crawford was better. He said this on the Ariel Helwani show. There was Canelo in the ring with us both. Anyone can say what they want, but he's been in the ring with us both.
You know, how did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best.
Was ready for the body shots. Occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, on the angle and, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw Crawford, try to...
Since this is a matter of personal opinion, the argument will go on forever. In Crawford's case, they were longtime champions in various weight divisions and will be remembered as two of the best American boxers in the history of the sweet science. The goal is for both of them to stay unbeaten for now. That being said, there is an interesting debate about how Mayweather and Crawford got their perfect records. Boxer Ryan Garcia said this on a section of Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring show on September 10th.
You know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and when he was younger. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era.
Max Kellerman says that Manny Pacquiao should be higher on a pound-for-pound list of the best boxers of all time than Mayweather. This is in reaction to ESPN's ranking of Floyd as the best boxer of all time, and Pacquiao as second. Early this month, LeSean McCoy, a former NFL player, said, "Nobody has changed the game like Floyd Money Mayweather, in a bad way," Garcia answered. He then said that Mayweather was very good at knowing when to fight and when not to fight. He really is the best at that game. He is the best at making money and setting up big fights. But why? Because all of them were timed. He never fought someone who was really at their best. The best after junior lightweight. He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody wants to keep their zero on their record.
It's the game like Floyd Money Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, you know, making money and making all the, you know, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing. And, you know, that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, you know, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
some people are questioning the order because of what Crawford has recently done. And these debates couldn't come at a better time, since Crawford is at the top of his game and still fighting at the highest level. As someone who has studied boxing for decades, Max Kellerman used his show, Inside the Ring, to talk about the Crawford-Mayweather fight. The seasoned analyst agreed that Mayweather had some benefits over Crawford, mainly in terms of the breadth of his resume, his defensive skills, and the speed of his hands. There is no doubt that Mayweather's technical skills made him become one of the best boxing champions of all time.
Wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first.
And he did say, though, that Mayweather became pickier about his opponents after he quit the lightweight class. When he faced some dangerous attackers, he thought he had carefully planned everything. This planned strategy helped Mayweather keep his perfect record, but it also made people wonder if he really wanted to fight anyone in their prime years. Kellerman compared this to Crawford's obvious willingness to fight anyone during his career, which suggests that boxing fans and fighters have different reactions to this way of thinking.
I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with.
Floyd's resume is a lot longer than Crawford's. Floyd was faster, better at defense, and all that. He was careful about fighting guys after leaving lightweight. We all saw that Crawford wanted to work with everyone the whole time, even though he had a bad past in some areas. That helps people. Likening Crawford to famous fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson and Roy Jones Jr. was very interesting as well. Kellerman said that Crawford had done the same thing to earn the respect of his peers. When someone has this kind of status, it's not just about records and numbers.
A lot of comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that fight.
Yes, sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah.
Boxing fans have said that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford are a lot alike, but wouldn't stop the 50-pound king from getting the credit he deserved. Floyd Mayweather is someone Terence Crawford looks up to, and when asked what they have in common, Mayweather gave him a few more ideas. He is king. Crawford said nice things about Floyd and acknowledged how great he was. In some ways, we're a lot alike, he said, but I take more risks. So we're a little different. He too took a lot of risks early in his work. It is certain Floyd Mayweather that you are referring to. Either you're talking about money or Pretty Bow. And Pretty Bow was the one who was looking to destroy. After that, he hurt his hands. Because of this, he couldn't keep up the same level of strength and had to move up and fight bigger opponents.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. Do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
Crawford said that they are alike in a number of ways. Boxing fans and followers, on the other hand, have compared the two fighters to see who is better. As soon as they did, a new source said Crawford would probably win a fight between the two people. When it comes to pure boxing skill, Floyd Mayweather Jr. can't be beat. He also gives more great science talks. Mayweather was able to beat all of his opponents with a clean jab, accuracy, speed, and the ability to counterpunch. Besides that, he did it over two copies of himself. Crawford said that Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive fighter who took the fight to his opponents. Money Mayweather, on the other hand, would learn from his opponents and beat them with great boxing years later. No matter which style you like better, both of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s albums helped make him famous. Boxing fans are still amazed by how well Crawford fought Spence in his last fight.
Got a reach from the left hooks again. He's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him. And then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
But was a very good boxer. He regularly broke through Spence's defense with a powerful jab, and he was also great at hitting in traffic and timing his counterpunches. It wasn't the first time, but we had never seen anything like that happen to a boxer as good as Spence. If you look at Mayweather's fighting skills alone, you might not want to underestimate him, but Crawford's way of boxing is different, successful, and even explosive in its own way. So, how would their fights be different if Crawford fought Mayweather when he was at his best and used his laser-like shots against Mayweather's focus sweet science? Who would be the first to jab? Who would be the best at blocking the punch? Because there are so many possible outcomes in this area, it might be best to call it a tie. How many times have we seen Mayweather calm his opponents down and then lure them into the middle of the ring, where he quickly processed information, studied it, and uploaded a plan to destroy them? Mayweather became an unbeaten 5-division world champion and went to the Hall of Fame by following the golden rule, hit and don't get hit, throughout his career. Crawford, who was undefeated champion at junior welterweight and now welterweight, has shown that he is very smart in the ring.
He drops him again. That's a hard knockdown that time with the left hook. How about that? Keeps battling, falling forward. Uppercut. Terrence Crawford has stopped Yuri.
Mayweather had fast hands, especially when he counterpunched at the end of the fight. Crawford's cutting angles and whiplashing delivery, on the other hand, make but faster. Mayweather won 50 fights, and 27 of them were by knockout. Crawford, on the other hand, has 40 wins, 31 of which were by knockout, and he is still fighting. This is where Crawford's skill against Spence comes in. He dropped Spence 3 times on his way to a convincing 9th-round TKO.
A lot of comparisons between Terrence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terrence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terrence.
always figures it out.
Yeah.
A strong puncher and body snatcher like Spence was hard to beat. On his way to becoming the joint world welterweight champion, he brutally beat Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and your Dennis Ugas. Still, Crawford made it look simple. His strength made a big difference in this. Mayweather painted in the corner, putting his shoulder into the Philadelphia shell to block shots and use his free hand to throw punches. The best part was how protective boxing turned into counterpunching. Additionally, Crawford is very good at playing defense, but Mayweather took defense fighting to a whole new level, almost ideal. How would the real fight between Crawford and Mayweather go? Who would win? After a close first round, in which both fighters tried to get a feel for each other, Crawford becomes the more aggressive and active fighter. He throws and lands blows, though Mayweather takes a lot of them on the shoulder and elbow. In the middle rounds, Mayweather's style was set, and he hit Crawford hard with jabs and banked some rounds.
Hook, you want to change you want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom, this toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you hear and it's gonna go boom. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight. You come straight from the shoulders, boom. Open it up a little bit, bam. Get that, there you go. So, yeah, so you want to come, everything you do, you want to come from the shoulders, boom, just turn it. When you coming in there, you hear, boom, and that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs, all the way up in there.
But if the pressure stays the same, Crawford's firepower might sometimes affect Mayweather. Even though the fight looks close, Crawford Offord's fighting skills and hard punches might be enough for the judges to give him points for his pressure and volume over Mayweather's style of boxing. After his career-defining win over Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed title on Saturday, Terence Crawford was humble that the rest of the boxing world will not let the talk about how great he was in the past go away so easily.
The talented fighter, and that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, went up against Canelo, moving up to divisions, hearing that people are saying, oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68? Well, that motivated more, man. He trained hard. He did.
Some people thought that this fight would decide who the best fighter was after Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. With all due respect to Alexander Usyk and Naoya Inoue, Crawford seemed to do just that. He became the 6th male boxer to win belts in 5 different categories and the first in the 4-belt era to become undisputed king in 3 of them. Alvarez was boxing's biggest star in the last 10 years and the pound-for-pound king until 2022. Crawford's win over him put him in a higher tax bracket, both financially and, more importantly, in terms of his reputation.
Look at this, it's unbelievable. To young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you're seeing one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. You're where and then he's nowhere. You think you. And again, it's not just hand quickness; it's the movement of the head, the way he rolls with punches, the way he makes it miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. Terrific fighter. Well, Mayweather.
When asked if he had been successful in Mayweather's plans, Crawford wouldn't talk about the similarities. At the news conference after the fight, Crawford said, "Listen, Floyd was the best of his time, and I am the best of my time. You don't need to compare." About 15 minutes later, though, things got heated when Alvarez, who had nothing but respect for Crawford even though he had lost, was asked which fighter was better. Alvarez, who was 23 at the time, had lost his first professional fight to Mayweather, who was 36 at the time.
Work on what you need to work on. Put your head down and grind. You get results like this.
I noticed that when I was watching the fight that Terence Crawford specifically, whichever side that Canelo threw at him, Terence would respond with a shot from that side as well. Did you see that in the tape that you watched of Canelo as a weakness, where he was vulnerable to shots at the same side that he threw?
Well, if you go back and look at the fight, you can hear us in the corner saying, when he go wide.
Crawford should get all the praise. I tried my best tonight, but I just couldn't get the style right. He had everything. I think Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, Alvarez said. This argument will go on until there is a real fight. That's all there is to it now. As soon as new boxing stories, moments, events, and actions happen, we post about them on our YouTube channel. Make sure that alerts are turned on so that you know when we post good stuff like this.